Okay, we're going to be doing 2.2 today, the distributive property. So it's another property like we learned in 2.1, but the distributive property gets a section all to itself. So if you have a parentheses x plus y, that is the same as ax plus ay. What you're doing, it's why it's called the distributive property, you are distributing this number that's being multiplied to everything inside the parentheses. There could be 6 things inside the parentheses, and you're going to distribute it to all of them. Everything that's split up by a plus or minus sign. Okay, so basically you're just distributing throughout the parentheses. So let's try number 1. So we have 2 times the quantity 3x plus 4. So what that really means is you're going to do 2 times 3x and then plus 2 times 4, and I'll put that one in parentheses. You will get to the point, oops, I forgot to put the parentheses there. You will get to the point where you can cut this out, this step out, but for now let's write it in there. So 2 times 3x is 6x plus 2 times 4, which is 8. And you're done because these are not like terms, so you cannot add those together. You just leave them there. Alrighty? Number 2, we're going to take the 3 and multiply it times the 5 plus the 3 and multiply it by the 6y. So it's going to be 3 times 6y. So 3 times 5 is 15 plus 3 times 6y is 18y. And you're done. Again, you cannot combine them because one has a y and one doesn't. Moving on. So now we have a negative 3. Okay, you do it the exact same way. Distributing it through. So negative 3 times 5t plus, and I'm using plus because that's what's there, negative 3 times 7. So negative 3 times positive 5, remember one negative, one positive is going to give you negative 15t plus negative 3 times 7. So one's negative, one's positive, so it's going to give you negative 21. Okay, you can leave it like this, but I would prefer you rewrite it negative 5t minus 21. You have to know that those are the same thing. Remember, plus and negative is the same as minus, but you're normally going to see it like this with the minus. All right, moving on. Number 4. 2 times 7, and then you can bring this minus down. 2 times 3d. So 2 times 7 is 14, minus 2 times 3d is 6d. Alright, and you're done. You can just leave that minus right in there. Okay, like I said, eventually you'll get to be doing so many of these, you can cut this out, and you would just get 15 plus 18y. But for now, let's write them. Oops, there we go. Okay, number 5, we're going to do some more. So negative 2, we have to take that negative with it. Negative 2 times 5 minus negative 2 times 2x. So we have negative 2 times a positive 5, which is a negative 10, minus negative 2 times positive 2. Negative 4x. Please do not leave those two negatives. What does that become? Remember, cha-ching. So negative 10 plus a 4x. Number 6. So now we have our number that's being multiplied by the quantity on the right side. It doesn't matter. It's still being multiplied. So then you're going to go this way. Whoops. Okay, so 3 times 6m plus 3 times 1. So 3 times 6n is 18m plus 3 times 1, which is 3. Okay. Number 7. Now this throws people off because it's just an x there. What's really in front of that x? Okay, there's just one x, so that's really a 1 right there. Just like up here, this means there's 2 x's. There's 6 m's. That's what that's standing for. Okay, so this is going to be 5 times x, or 5 times 1x. 5 times x minus 5 times 4. So 5x minus 20. Okay. Now that is how you're going to use the distributive property most of the time, is all of these examples we just did. But it can help you do some mental math. Okay, like we've talked before, you can do 5 times 28. It's just kind of hard to do that mentally. So you can do the reverse of the distributive property and split up your 28, kind of like 6m plus 1, except for we're not going to have any variables. So you would split it up into 20 plus 8. Or you technically could do 25 plus 3 if you wanted. There's not necessarily a right or wrong. You just want to make it easy. So then when you multiply, 5 times 20 is 100 plus 5 times 8 is 40, and you can do add them together to get 140. So in your head you could do, okay, well I know 5 times 20 is 100 and I know 5 times 8 is 40, so if I add 140 I get 140. Okay, same with this one. You could do 50 plus 3 all times 7, and you do the distributive property. Okay, 7 times 50 is what? 350 plus 7 times 3, which is 21. That's easier to add than trying to multiply this in your head. So 371. So it's just trying to make you think of how to do things a little simpler. Okay, so moving on, I think I have some examples for you guys to do yourself. Okay, so this just says practice, use the distributive property. So I want you to practice what we've done, split this one up like we just did, and then bring it and show it to me for your notes.